Welcome everyone to Marvel Hub. This is DK Dynamite, and today we're going to be talking about some new details that have arisen for Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the upcoming Disney Plus exclusive series that unfortunately won't be coming out until August of 2020. So shout out to CM4Sci over on the Marvel Studios Spoilers Reddit, who put together a bit of a compilation for some of these new details regarding the series. So even though we're over a year away from watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier, a lot of these details definitely have me hyped, and I'm sure they'll get you guys hyped as well. So starting off with the first thing here, Zemo and Agent 13, aka Sharon Carter, will be returning to the MCU with this limited time series. Now, it was made abundantly clear after Civil War came out that Zemo wasn't done yet and would be coming back at some point in the future of the MCU, and obviously we've had rumors lately about him appearing in a possible Thunderbolts project. So with that in mind, I think this series alone will kind of reestablish Zemo as a pretty big ass villain, and will eventually kind of throw him into a possible Thunderbolts project towards the end of the series. So I'm really excited to see what they do with this character overall. There's a lot of character arc for him left that they haven't really touched on from the source material, which is the comics, and I'm really excited to see what his reaction will be to the fact that Steve Rogers is now retired, lived his life out in the past, and has passed the mantle on of Captain America to Sam Wilson. That'll be great to see. Obviously the Winter Soldier has history with this guy, and obviously everybody who's on the Avengers roster is super pissed off with what Zemo did back in Civil War, and some may even say that Zemo really did win in Civil War. He accomplished his mission, which was to tear the Avengers apart even further. On top of the Sokovia Accords, on top of conflicting arguments, he literally put Tony and Steve in a boxing ring and had them go at it, just for the sole fact that he showed Tony and Cap the fact that the Winter Soldier had murdered Howard and Maria Stark in the past. So with that being said, nobody's going to be happy to see him again in terms of our heroes. They're going to be really pissed off, and I'm sure they'll give him another ass kicking towards the end of the series as well. But in terms of Sharon Carter returning, obviously she has a very specific arc in the comics which wasn't really translated too much onto the big screen, which means perfectly fine. They're kind of giving her a new arc for the MCU as we know it, but we haven't seen her since 2016, the events of Captain America Civil War, and we're now in 2023 by the time this series takes place in the MCU. So I wonder what she was doing after Civil War, what she was doing during Infinity War, and especially what happened after the snap in Endgame. So there's a lot of questions to be answered, and I'm sure they'll really explore that within this series. But now that Steve is gone, her arc in the comics can't really be translated too much onto the big screen unless they kind of convert that character arc between Steve and Sharon over onto Sharon and Sam now. I heard some funny fan theories online that maybe she'll hook up with Sam throughout the series, but I really doubt that'll happen. I'm sure they want to give her a completely different and more important character arc than just hooking up with the new Captain America. But I also want to hear her reaction to the fact that Steve went back to the past and lived out his life with her great aunt or whatever she is to her. So that's gonna be really funny to see and explore within this series. But it was next up confirmed that the series will only be 6 episodes long. Now, as disappointing and short as that may sound, keep in mind, even though this is called a limited time series, I'm sure with the wild success it'll have on Disney Plus, I'm almost positive they'll either renew this series for another season, another set of 6 episodes, or will somehow throw these characters into a different Disney Plus series, or will just hype us up for their next appearance in an MCU film. Obviously, Kevin Feige has confirmed that these Disney Plus series will dramatically impact future MCU movies. There's going to be very important pieces to the next puzzle that is being crafted for Phase 4 and beyond. So I cannot wait to see how this plays out. But in terms of it being 6 episodes long, all I think this does is eliminates a lot of the BS filler that no one likes to watch when they tune into their favorite superhero show. Filler could be such a drag and does nothing but essentially allows writers to hit that 22, 23 episode mark that they usually always aim for with a season of a show. So with this only being 6 episodes, let's pretend it was 10 episodes long, 4 episodes being filler. So these 6 golden episodes will probably be furthering the narrative as much as possible, focusing on Sam becoming the new Captain America, living up to the name, dealing with Baron Zemo's return, Sharon Carter's mini arc, Bucky figuring out who he is, and just becoming a hero for the future going on and forward. This series is going to have a lot on its plate already that I think adding filler episodes wouldn't do much for the series. It would just kind of get us excited that we have additional episodes of this MCU series. But I think these 6 episodes alone will be enough to kind of satisfy our needs for the return of some of these familiar characters. But moving on to the fact that this is going to be directed by Kari Skogland. So Kari Skogland is a pretty well-respected director. Really happy to hear that they got someone that a lot of people do appreciate as a director, and clearly she'll be handling this series going forward, and may even handle some other Disney Plus series if this one is crazy successful. So excited to see what she does with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier. And it was also confirmed that Sam will use the shield from Endgame, which is definitely not a surprise at all. The series is all about Sam becoming the new Captain America, leading up to the name. But somebody did ask whether or not Chris Evans will make an appearance as Old Man Steve in this series, and it's definitely a possibility, but in all honesty, based on how Robert Downey Jr. also responded to whether or not he'll return to the MCU, it does seem like when they filmed their last moments of Endgame, that was the end of Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans playing these phenomenal roles in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It doesn't seem like they were open to doing cameos anytime soon. I'm sure if they ever do a massive Avengers movie like Secret Invasion, Secret Wars, Dark Avengers, they ever do anything crazy like that, I'm sure 10 years from now they can convince Robert Downey Jr. or Chris Evans to make some pretty crazy theater clapping cameo appearances within that film. But in terms of appearing only a year or so after Endgame, I don't think that's very likely, but it will be nice to hear maybe Chris Evans as Old Man Steve give Sam Wilson some advice going forward throughout the show. So let me know what you think of all that down below in the comment section. And last but not least, there was a post made by Pat002 on the Marvel Studios Reddit talking about how a reliable insider was confirming some information about Bucky becoming a new man, having a new haircut, new suit, a new name, and donning some new weapons within this series. So there was some more concept art released for some of this information that I'll put on screen as well. So I have no doubt in my mind that Zemo will have his classic purple outfit from the comics and games that'll probably look realistic for the MCU. I have no doubt that Bucky will no longer be the Winter Soldier, but instead will turn into a hero under a different name. And I have no doubt that Sam will have a very nice looking outfit, not only as the Falcon, but with that Captain America color scheme, with the shield. It's going to look great. Cannot wait to see how that's translated onto this limited time series. But that's about it. This has been DK Dynamite. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and turn notifications on to stay up to date with the latest and greatest Marvel news and information, and peace out, everyone.